What does your face say about you? Your desires, your ambitions, your feelings, your history? Well, I've got Tammy here, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about what this beautiful thing on the front of your head is telling the world and trained professionals like Tammy about all of that and more. Tammy, I'd like to invite you to tell the world about yourself and then why this type of way to look at the world actually matters, why it matters to you, and why it should really matter to everyone else.
Yeah, I'd love to, Shauna. It's like, I'm Tammy, everyone. I'm Tammy Cho. I'm a body whisperer. So, what does that mean? So, let me ask you, when you look in the mirror in the morning, so you're looking at yourself, right? Are you liking what you see? Or do you find that you're sort of rushing to put, makeup or take care of your parents and just get on with the day? Or do you find yourself really seeing yourself? Um, Maybe you find yourself avoiding yourself. Like all these pieces, when we look in the mirror in the day, is actually speaking about something within us subconsciously. And our body is this representation of our thoughts and emotions, our soul. It's all expressed through our body more so than we actually know. And what I do is essentially I highlight what your face says according to what your shape of your eyes, the lines that are showing up in particular areas, how your ears are situated on your face. All these things speak about your strengths. It speaks about challenges we might be going through. It speaks about this inner and outer alignment. And this is where we're going to dive into this embodied impact, right? And transforming, you know, ourselves to create this energy alignment to, reach people out there. Because a lot of us are out there trying to like reach people, get our messaging across to show up authentically. And it's like our face, like our left side of our face is our inner world, and the right side is the outer world. And it's helping us bring true aligning, true authentic alignment within ourselves. And so I hope that's a good intro on what exactly body whispering is and how this can support one in really honing in to getting to know yourself in a deeper way.
That's an amazing intro to what body whispering is, because truly, like I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, guys, this is amazing. Like, first question, what do you think of when you're looking in the mirror? What do you think of? Wow, whew, that's already a hard hitter. It's one of those situations where you have to come to terms with a lot of things. So understanding that impact is really important. And I loved your description of that right and left, because I have a cockeyed smile. I smile more on this side than this side. And I go, oh, ooh, now I want to know more. And I know that so many people out here who are watching right now are saying, wait, oh, yeah, I do the, and it's your body too. So it's a whole body situation. And so as we're showing up as professionals in particular, as we're showing up and we're maybe we're on camera like this, maybe we're taking our professional photos, or maybe we're having a call with somebody. How we do so and what we bring forth, you can read on us and bring out the best that's within us.
Yeah, it's a process of really seeing ourselves for who we are. Because I work with a lot of high achievers, Shauna, and I find we tend to spend a lot of time giving, and we're not actually seeing and understanding ourselves. And to a degree, oftentimes we're running away from deeper parts of ourselves. And oftentimes the thing that we're running away from that's reflected in our body and how we relate to certain features and our body and things like that is the exact thing that's in the way of what people say they want to attract or create. And so it's very interesting like that, because our body's always trying to get our attention. It's the representation of our subconscious, right? And I think many people look at things at a more surfacey level because that's what's around us, and that's normal, that's being human. And to really make a deeper impact and deeper self-love really and acceptance within ourselves, it's not until we are able to come to that where we're able to fully really express ourselves in our alignment and in our energy.
And that energy is received by the people who are on the other end.
Yeah, and like look at us now. We're speaking on a little square, I mean rectangle, I should say. And it's like people see us on this little screen. So what are people actually connecting with? They're connecting with our energy. I mean, yes, our words are in there, but really, right? Even though we don't talk about it subconsciously, we're actually feeling into people. Like maybe we're feeling, we call it confidence, we call it the conviction of the other person, and oftentimes it's the energy. Yeah, and so I just want to land that there, Shauna. For
Oh, I like that. Yes, and true. And I've said this many times, and I don't think it's just, I mean, in your expertise, it is our what we're bringing forth physically. It, more actually, we just talked about mind, body, spirit, and soul. So it's a little bit more than that. But whenever I'm telling people about the words they're creating too, if you're writing a sales page, if you're writing your socials, if you're writing your brand messaging, the words that you're using to really put yourself out there, those words also hold energetic power, especially the power that you give them. And so you need to be really intentional about how you're selecting those words based on some of those sometimes messy underlayers of who you are and how you fit into your business. So is that in alignment? Does that track based on your expertise?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, words are words. And so it's really important to how we translate it when we speak it through our body and how it's delivered. And a lot of that has to do with how we feel about ourselves. Because we can, you know how you see people and there's sometimes people are saying the words, but something feels off or
Mm-hmm.
something feels empty, something doesn't feel aligned, and you don't know how to put a finger on it, like you're just feeling it, right? And
Yeah.
so that's what I'm talking about. And it's this exact like, energy, this non-tangible piece that people don't necessarily look at. But it's the exact thing that is being able to open to receive and let in what we say we want. So we could go about putting on our messaging out there. And yet there's a part of us energetically pushing things away. And the beauty with this, Shauna, is that in our face and body, it makes it more tangible. That's what I love about it. That's what helps me on my journey, right? Like I knew I was like in a rut and all these things. And it's been years. And it's like I had to see it in my body for it to be real for me. Cause I was like, yeah, I know I'm feeling, I know, my mind was just taking over my life. And coming back to the body is not just, looking at the body and seeing it, right? It's actually connecting with our emotions, coming back to the place of the heart and aligning our body, mind, heart, soul connection. And yeah,
Yeah. And so I'm just thinking, right? And just so everybody know, when I if I ever take a minute like that, I learned that from Tammy. Okay. We've been in the same world for a little while. I will take and it's that checking in. Because like you said, your body is talking to you and you just need to kind of figure out what it's saying. What the hell is this saying to me? Where am I storing the stressors? Where am I storing my joy? Where am I storing all of these different things in my body, and how can I express that? So this is like really pivotal and deeper level stuff for anybody who's really trying to show up, especially as a leader. And I want to really touch into that thought leadership, that you, regardless of whether you consider yourself an influencer, so to speak, you are influencing if you are showing up for your business. And so you are indeed a leader. So where does that relationship fit into what you do with face and body analysis, and really kind of making sure that people are in alignment when they're leading others who are really relying on them, who are really trusting them?
yeah, I think what you say is totally accurate. It's like we're all influencing, and it's really about this consciousness in it. And so if you're influencing, it's about stepping into your power, into whether that's being a mother or that's being in business. It really doesn't matter. And so with this influencing, like I would, what comes to my mind when you ask me this, Shauna, is that a lot of times we are um, uh, hmm, blanking out for a second here. But often we are living in a way where we gotta come back to ourselves and then taking a breath and connecting to ourselves. But influencing has to do with actually staying in the calmness, in the consciousness, and stepping out. of self to take the action, but eventually coming into more alignment with living in the space of being connected with the body. And the body will highlight for us when we are out of, alignment. Pain will show up, symptoms will show up, how we relate to our body shows up. Oftentimes that's the mental chatter that shows up first, and it shows up like anxiety, depression, low moods, really deep self-criticism, like self-doubt, imposter syndrome, like all these kind of things highlight in this way. It's just different ways that our body communicates to us. And I'll just quickly say, like I spoke about the body side of things. It's the chest tightness, the back pain, it's the tight shoulders. It's like this discomfort that kind of pops in my tummy once in a while or something like that, right? The mind chatter is that place of the mind. It's the doubting the self. It's the perfectionism that comes. Something needs to be addressed. Something within us needs to realign. It's the emotions, like, those are the overthinking. It causes these emotions of sadness or guilt or shame, and it's when I think about influencing, I think about really a deeper emotional leadership, because often that's what's running the show, our emotions. When we make a buying decision, it's the emotions, and then the mind comes in to make it, come into our reality. You'll make up reasons for it. You know what I mean? And so, same thing with influencing. It really is being able to come back to ourselves in this way, to start from that place of consciousness and be a leader for ourselves.
That's huge. That's one of those situations where, you've got to lead by example. Sometimes taking messy action and being vulnerable. And that's scary. That's scary, right? And so if you're not tapping into that, and yet you're showing up and you're moving to influence, truly, whether that's intentional being an influencer or not, you're showing up for your business. How can not tapping into that negatively influence the way you're showing up for yourself and your business, the way you are marketing?
Yeah, like if you are dropping into a certain level of awareness within yourself where you're doing all the right things, and within you, you know that something doesn't feel right, you don't feel like you're really being yourself, you're not fully expressing, your gifts, right? That's when it really sucks the joy out of your life. Like you're just hitting the next goal to feel better about yourself, right? And so and some of us, like, we may not even be aware, like we gotten so used to being a certain way. It's like we're just hitting sort of like a wall. We feel like we're hitting a wall, a block. We feel like we're moving forward like 3 steps and then back like 5 steps. Like it feels like you're not actually getting anywhere. And oftentimes that is calling us home, to look a little deeper within ourselves. And yeah, and the face highlights so much. And I like to say I help people take off their mask, because we
I love
forget
that.
who we are. We forget who we are after we've worn that for a while, Shauna.
I love that. I think it was some of the first times that we've ever talked. I always said, people get tired in general. I got tired. So, I just kind of quit altogether carrying that suitcase of masks with you all the time. That thing's heavy. Why are you doing that? Ditch the damn suitcase and just come as you are. I love
that. And I have a lot of compassion for people, because I had, what I call a big pain body. I held a big baggage. I put on like a really hard mask. And so I have a lot of compassion for some of us. And it does, like when we carry it, we can carry it. And however, like we're feeling the tired, the exhaustion, the overwhelm, like there's just no denying it until we burn out. Right. And
that's a good point, actually, because what you were describing earlier about, not necessarily realizing it until you start shedding those difficult sensations, and you don't realize that you're there, because you can take it. You're fine. I got this. But when you start peeling that away, you go, oh, I didn't know I could feel this much better. But the funny thing is that even though, and I'm thinking of actually a previous talk that I had about neurospicy burnout, because you think you're so much better, even though you've only unpeeled like 2 of those nasty layers. And I'm better. This is great. This is awesome. But then you can get into that loop again. And that's where really going back to the root and really kind of touching into that alignment is so important, because then you actually experience that true release.
Yeah, it's true, right? Because like we all go through different layers of growth and healing, whatever we want to call it, different, yeah, stages of growth, let's call it, right? And it's like we peel it back, but there's always a little bit of going back and forth. It's just what makes the difference, how we relate to it, how connected we are to ourselves to know that, oh, okay, well, this is just me growing and expanding into it versus like I'm actually drowning in it. So it really is about coming like radically honesty with ourselves, radical honesty back with ourselves. That's what is the key to anything we do. It really is coming face to face, like literally with ourselves.
Radical honesty. That should be on a poster somewhere. I think of radical honesty. And immediately it makes me think of Brené Brown when she talks about rumbling with vulnerability.
Hmm.
Right? I think that that's very, very much in alignment. Just this idea of, well, sometimes it's going to be tough to really tap into that radical honesty with yourself, never mind with other people. And you're going to need to do that rumble in order to find that energetic alignment. And what does that look like then when you're really exploring that space and you're willing to open up and you're willing to tap into the radical honesty with yourself? What does it look like when you're finding that energetic alignment and then showing up in that alignment?
Oh, well, often, I mean, what comes up to share what this looks like, because again, energy is so non-tangible, and I want to make it tangible, partly through the body, but also through an exercise of essentially measuring someone's energy field according to their affirmation statement, like stating something that they're trying to create in the future that they want to bring into their reality, and it's speaking about the different aspects. And I essentially use this process to measure someone's energy fields and how they are actually energetically reacting, and so you can visibly see this in action about, yeah, like I feel like I'm really getting into it, I'm saying my affirmation, yet the response from measuring the energy field, it's actually closing to it, it's pushing it away, it's not even like the traction is not even there. And often that has a lot to do with the heart being open or not. And so that's why I come back. I call my business Path to the Heart, because it's the core piece of, first of all, being connected to what we desire, and then opening to receive, and then also attracting what we want. It's our natural embodiment of who we are. If we allow ourselves to just be our authentic selves, that we got to get to know ourselves deeper. And so coming back to the energy, it's like helping my clients see this, it really awakens a part of them. And I try to definitely make it a bit fun, but can be a bit jarring for some people, right? Because it's like, wow, like I remember this guy's reaction. He was so gung-ho about his goal. He was just like, he's so excited when you look at him, right? And when we did it, like it was like, wow, like he didn't see the need to look further and look deeper. I'm fine. I'm good. That's what I said when I was burning out, or when I was like, everything seems okay. And we don't know when something's better because we've never seen it. And so this is what I call leadership. This is stepping to our personal emotional leadership and our embodiment to live life in a way that is living at our highest and greatest version of ourselves. And that's what I'm all about. I strive for that because that's one of my values, growth. And so, yeah, this is me.
I love it. I love it, because surely, like, and I'm always telling people, take messy action, do the thing, figure out if it feels right. I mean, of course, don't just take messy action that makes no sense. Like, don't just do something impulsively. Be intentional. Make sure you're talking to yourself and figuring things out. But that means that you don't need to have all of your ducks in a row when you do take that action, because it's never going to be perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. And it's all about growth. It's all about leaning into it and going, well, I'm not sure, but we're going to try and we're going to figure it out, and be open to failing, or maybe achieving success beyond your wildest dreams. That's pretty enticing, and in my humble opinion, worth the risk.
Yeah, and it really comes back to this place of compassion, because it is our superpower as humans, right? It's the ability to hold compassion when we fall and fail, and and to measure how much time are we spending beating ourselves up versus like being able to flow. Like a lot of the energy alignment and flow has to do with how deep we love ourselves and make ourselves okay in every moment. And you'd be surprised, Shauna, how many people actually struggle with giving themselves compassion. People
I
give.
don't think I'd be as surprised as you think. I've been on this journey, right? I have gone through like ups and downs, and I open myself and always have been as a service provider since childhood to receiving others' experiences, right? And so I totally, when you say that, I'm like, no, absolutely. How many times have we heard our friends, our family members just give them, whether it's overt or not, give themselves little kicks in the pants that are not necessary. Oh, I wish I looked this way. Oh, I wish I thought this way. Or wouldn't it be nice? Or yeah, but well, look at the way my arms move. Or just little comments. And it's like, honey, there's not an inch of you that I don't love. Can we start sharing more love to ourselves? And it's hard. It's hard. And even myself, one of the biggest wake up calls, and I know you can relate to this, Tammy, was having children, in particular, having girls. Because I'm a woman and they're going to grow to be women. And my voice and what I say about myself will be reflected in them as they grow. And I want to make sure that they are receiving those messages of self-worth and I am enough. And then once I clued in, once I really was able to step into that, I was able to then expand that, because that's what we're made for, is expansion. And now I can share it with other people and I can say, I want the same for you. 100%. There's no part of me that doesn't want that for you.
Yeah, I love that. And when we're embodied in that loving, it's like just being in your energy, Shauna, your kids being your energy, like that you are shifting them energetically. It's like, it's beautiful. And same taking, just being you and being embodied in that, and loving your clients in the way you do with your authenticity. It's beautiful. And it's like, it's the beauty is it does, a lot of people think everything's a lot of work. And it can be easy. We just need to recognize and be conscious to it's actually happening. And once you place your attention on it, you start to see more of it. And it's like, whoa, that was easy.
It's that first step is hard. That first step of, well, it's just like jumping into a pool. The pool's not going to be warm typically. So you got to just jump in. You got to jump in, and you don't want to, and your body resists it. And you go, I don't want to jump in the pool. But once you're in there, it's a heck of a good time. So you might as well just jump in and enjoy. I love that. Now, Tammy, we are running down to the last little bit of our conversation, but there will be many more to come. I know that. What if there was something that you could share with our audience that really connects what you do, your expertise, your background, with how people are showing up to the world and how people are really stepping into their emotional leadership and their energetic alignment? What would be some sugarcoating that you'd like to spread to the world? Oh, I know it's a hard one. It's always a hard one.
Yeah, I don't know. What comes up to share is that often, we work on the mindset, and maybe we even work on our emotionality, and what gets left out is often how we are standing, how we are walking, what our posture is like, how we are holding our embodiment, and whether there's alignment to what we're saying to ourselves, how we're feeling, how we're holding our body and walking and moving throughout our day, and connecting to that soul purpose as we're deepening into our emotionality, right? That's what is the juice in bringing the full alignment to feeling this authenticity and feeling actually embodied and really yourself. And just by doing this, it's like things naturally will flow to you, depending on what your heart really wants. Just please let it be easy and just let yourself be yourself.
I'm going to take a moment to write down uh, the time of this, because everybody else needs to jump to if anybody drops in at the end, they're like, I need to definitely watch at about 25 minutes in. This is what Tammy said, and I need to write this on my heart and really step into that power, because that's amazing. Now, Tammy, where can people reach out to connect with you? Because they should.
Yeah, thank you. Well, this is being broadcast in 9 different areas. So you'll see my social media channel. Please direct message me. I also offer complimentary deep dive discovery sessions. And you can email me at Tammy, Tammy, at pathtotheheart, exactly how it sounds.com. And as well, I see Shauna has, really good with technology, and she's put my face shape workshop. It's my free gift to you, pathtotheheart.com face shape workshop. And yeah, if you want to just jump in to start this awareness of self through what your face shape says about you, I invite you to take a peek into that.
And by the way, all of these links, all of these connections are available in the show notes, so that if you're joining us just with the audio, you can absolutely access that right below. You're clear to go, and I strongly encourage you to do so. Book in that first call. I did. Full transparency. I'm a person who is all about transparency. I 100% did. And although I may have cried, I definitely made a lot of progress within and about myself just with one conversation. So I strongly advise all who's listening to hop on a call and make a connection with Tammy. You will never regret it. With that, thank you so much, Tammy, for hopping on this conversation. You have been an absolute joy as always, and we will have to do another episode, because this conversation definitely is not over.
I love it.
See you later.